I knew Sabonis was going to bring it, and he has been bringing it all year. He's playing at an all NBA level. And so my attention was to De'Aaron Fox. Coming off of 5 of 15, he was missing a ton of shots last night, and it was like, man, you had the time off, maybe out of rhythm. I was curious what he was going to look like tonight. And who we saw tonight was the De'Aaron that we saw to start the year. And it was everything. It was attacking. It was hitting threes. It was dropping dimes. It was getting big-time rebounds. He finishes tonight with 27 points. He had 10 assists. He had 6 rebounds and a steal in this game on 9 of 23. He was 4 of 8 from 3, 5 of 7 from the free throw line, and had to fight through frustration. Again, De'Aaron Fox is not getting calls. He continues not to get calls. I mean, he's bleeding at one point in this game, and he kept battling. And I thought he played a hell of a game against the Raptors tonight.
Yeah, the way that he battled through, you know how hard and how deflating it is when you're not getting calls, when you're getting your ass kicked going to the basket. I get with bigs, like we see them night in, night out, get hacked on the arms, have to really be physical all game long. But I think sometimes with guards, when it becomes obvious when you're getting hacked or some contact is happening in the paint or even before you're in the paint and it's along the perimeter and shit's not being called, it can be super frustrating. It can be hard to play through it. De'Aaron Fox found a way to not only play through it, he was just doing fantastic everywhere on the floor, from the offensive end to the defensive end. The way that he was playmaking, God, I love this bloody shot of De'Aaron Fox. But I just talk about the playmaking really quick. 10 assists for De'Aaron Fox tonight, and then crashing the glass also. 6 rebounds. And this is a team with Toronto where they're good at getting those second chance opportunities. I thought De'Aaron did a great job of being one of those guys, understanding point of emphasis, crash, get the rebound.
Yeah, the Kings end up with more offensive rebounds, more second chance points, and they crushed Toronto on the boards tonight. It was 50-39. Sabonis with 20 of those 50 rebounds. But no, I think Fox needed this game. I think some fans needed this game from Fox to make sure he's all right, right? This is probably his best game he's played in 3 weeks, before he was starting to go into that funk. So for him to look more like himself and be composed and keep attacking. One of my favorite plays came in the fourth quarter. Here's how it sounded from the G-Man as Sabonis picks up rebound number 20, and Fox with a tremendous finish.
Gives it up to Siakam. Inside 2 minutes to go. Siakam against Fox, trying to post up. Misses at the rim. Sabonis has the rebound. It's a 20-20 game for Sabonis' second time. Fox in transition creates a tough basket off the dribble, and the Kings lead it 118-113. It's their biggest lead of the ball game. What a drive by Fox.
Incredible. And that was a big play. Morgan, on a night like this, second night of a back-to-back, everyone talks about, hey, you do need depth, and you do need depth to get you through it. But sometimes you got to lean on your horses. You got to lean on your guys. Sabonis tonight played 40 minutes on the second night of a back-to-back. De'Aaron Fox, his second game back, playing in a back-to-back. Some wonder, is he even going to play tonight? He played 42 minutes in this game. And these were physical 42 minutes. This was a lot of intensity. This was back and forth, a lot of energy exerted. He was a monster. And then Sabonis with 21 points, 20 rebounds, and 7 dimes. NBA world, wake up. Put some respect on Domantas Sabonis' name. He wasn't just some throw-in when people were acting like the Kings traded Halliburton for his dad, Arvydas Sabonis. This guy's a player. He's been a 2-time All-Star in the past, and he, this year, is playing the best basketball of his career. It's not just offensively, it's the rebounding, Morgan. It's dominating all facets of the game. It's playing some nice defense at times. He has been unbelievably great for Sacramento, and really a huge reason why they're 15-12 after 27 games.
Huge reason. And you look at just a stat from StatMuse, most 2025 games in Kings history since franchise moved to Sacramento. Sabonis with 3, Chris Webber with 3. And Sabonis has only played 42 games with the Sacramento Kings. It's just, It's pretty phenomenal what he's doing so early on. He's playing his best basketball of his career right now, which is pretty crazy to say because he had some really good times, some really good years, obviously, in Indiana. I just think this style of team basketball is elevating his game to another level. It's elevating everyone else's game around him to another level. When you're grabbing 20 rebounds against a long ass team like the Toronto Raptors, it's not only the way that he's grabbing the rebounds, it's the way that he's pushing it out. The way that he found Terrence Davis on his first 3 threes because he was pushing it out. He was pushing it up the floor. He knows how to find guys, Deuce, but he also knows how to just rally the troops and keep everyone going and together.
10 of 13 shooting, by the way, too.
Whew.
Missed 3 shots. Missed 3 shots in this game. 20 rebounds for him. 7 dimes. He did have 5 turnovers, but ends up being a plus 13 in the game. I thought Terrence Davis stepped up in a big way. The first quarter was a little up and down. You mentioned the threes he made, but then I felt like he was settling a bit for threes. That's all he was taking. What I love, though, as the game went on, there was a couple of attacks, and then there was actually a pump fake, and then a 3. Those are the things you love to see. Just him during a game get a little better. Don't just settle. Can you get a better shot? Can you at least make the defense close out on you hard and get a better look? And that's what the Kings, I think, offensively on this road trip at times, they have struggled. There's too many early shots, too many, it's open, but is it the best shot? Tonight, I felt like, especially after that slow start in the first quarter, they were starting to get the paint touches again. They were starting to get the ball moving again. And, of course, it helps when you knock down shots. The Kings had 29 assists, and they made 17 of 46 from 3 tonight.
Yeah, I love the way that they were making their shots from the outside, but you're exactly right. It was the shot selection. It was the way that they were being patient, staying disciplined at time toward the end of the game, right? When they realized, oh, we got to go back to playing how we know how to play. And I know we give so much love to Sabonis and the way that he knows how to command an offense, but Deuce, you see it when De'Aaron has that pop, when he has that special spark that he has tonight and all those other games that we saw him playing at a high level, the team really rallies behind him. Just that, again, that identity, that offense that they play with when De'Aaron is playing at that level as such a threat, not only from the outside, but also being able to just penetrate into the paint. The defenses collapse and it leaves so many guys open. It makes guys think and make the extra pass, make the extra move, and take the best shot.
And let's not get it twisted. The Raptors needed this win tonight. They had been struggling, right? And they've been really good at home. We were talking about their home record today, and they lost this game. So the Kings down in this game. The Raptors had no turnovers at the half. They end up with 7 in the second half. That turned into 12 points for the Sacramento Kings. The Kings did a better job taking care of the ball in the second half. They had 15 total turnovers that turned into 17 points. But I felt in the second quarter the game shifted. They were able to close the gap because they got back to playing like their style of basketball, right? I thought the problem at times in this game was defensively. Every quarter allowing 30-plus points. Going into the third quarter, I told G-Man on the radio broadcast, going into the fourth quarter, I told G-Man on the radio broadcast, the Kings can win this game, but they need to hold the Raptors under 30 points. It was looking great for a while. They ended up scoring 29 points. Woo! So let's just say I was right that time around, but I felt like there were too many defensive breakdowns. Maybe, they'd get the initial stop. It would be a second chance, or it would be like not having that second effort, right? Look, you have to keep fighting. It's not easy when you're trying to get stops and you're trying to fight things. You gotta keep battling out there. I did think in the fourth quarter, the defense was so much better from the Kings.
It was so much more locked in. You're exactly right, because you saw so many plays out there when there was just a guy on Toronto that was in that dunker spot, getting an easy bucket time after time after time again. And I'm like, where's the rotation? And then there's
Scotty Barnes kept getting him on the same post move 800 times.
I know. And that's frustrating too. And it's like, well, when are you going to send that double? When are you going to disrupt and make his life a little harder? And then there's like another time later in the game where you had someone cutting across the paint with the ball, and Davion has Siakam up at the top of the key, and he should have just shrunk down a little bit more into the paint. They got to understand those 2 steps make a huge difference with the geometry of the floor. And I just think the Kings, when they're locked in together on that defensive end, great things happen. You saw that late in this game. The effort was there. And hey, after Mike Brown got tossed in that third quarter, it was just like a different type of effing energy.
Yeah, Mike Brown got tossed at the 9:09 mark of the third quarter. Here's how it sounded, courtesy of the G-Man.
And now we're going to get a technical foul call on Mike Brown, and Mike Brown is gone. He got hot. Sabonis got in front of him, and Mike Brown is really enraged. He is in the face of Zach Zarba, Jay Triano, Jordy Fernandez, Doug Christie, Sabonis all steering him out there, and Mike Brown has been ejected. First time as a Kings coach, and he'll take the walk with 9:09 to go in the third quarter.
Morgan, that felt like a person who was holding that in for a long time. It was like a volcano erupted on the court in Toronto because, like, he has been pretty measured in his response to the officials. Hell, and even some of the post game, like when he's called out the officials, it hasn't even been like anger, right? More disappointment, saying, we're just not getting things, and it's got to be better. He's so measured. Tonight, there was nothing measured about it. He was pissed, and he had every right to be. Like Van Vliet's getting the calls, Fox isn't, and on that specific play, Van Vliet loves using that off arm, and he kept using it. He drives, and then Davis is called for a foul, and he just erupted on the non-staff official, Brent Haskell. I thought he was going to fight him at one point. Dude, he was hot.
I think we all did. I was a little worried that no one was stepping in front of it, and then beautiful Zach Zarba was stepping in front. And I was like, no, don't get in the middle.
Do not touch Zarba's face.
Yeah, like Zarba needs his face. Yeah. But Deuce, seriously though, with all that happening, you're exactly right, because Van Vliet in that moment, or right before that moment, the way that he was chaotically throwing his body and out of control, it was so obvious. It was such bullshit that he was getting away with what he was getting away with. I'm not trying to sound like a homer, because we've seen things on both teams happen with officiating. We've seen officiating around the league not be at its best this year. And I think tonight it was like the last straw for Mike Brown. And damn it, did I love every moment of him charging. And if he was going to do it, he was going to do it the right way. You know how sometimes like a guy, when they foul a big and they don't like foul them hard? That was Mike Brown fouling a big hard. He was like, oh no, if I'm getting thrown, I'm like giving it all. And I think all of his energy projected into his entire team.
Well, the Kings did not shoot free throws in the first or third quarter in this game. They were 9 of 10 the second quarter, shot no free throws in the third quarter either. Then they go to the fourth. They end up getting 10 free throws, 8 of 10 from the free throw line. And one guy that I thought was key down the stretch was Harrison Barnes. Again, I don't know how many times we have to talk about this, but it doesn't matter the game. It seems like when the team needs a bucket, when the team needs to stop settling, the Kings went through a stretch where they were settling a little bit in the fourth quarter. Barnes got the ball in transition, attacked, got to the free throw line. And he has been big in that. He was 4 of 4 from the free throw line in that fourth quarter.
Yeah, Barnes making those free throws, I was so nervous. He looked so confident. He looked like he knew what the hell he was doing. He felt good with his shot. He finished, like you said, with the 12 points, but the 8 rebounds, some of those boards he was getting were just phenomenal. It was like it was the will to grab the rebound, even if he had to stretch an extra body part in a way that it shouldn't be stretched. Like, he was just willing to do whatever it took. I felt really proud after his performance, after De'Aaron Fox's performance, after Jordy Fernandez even stepping up and just making sure to keep everything normal. I thought it was really interesting too. And I know we're still talking about Harrison Barnes, but I thought it was interesting how Jordy threw Rashawn Holmes in there right away. And then he got that turnover, but then caused a turnover to get the ball back and then had the easy 2. It was just interesting seeing it from a different coach's perspective of what they wanted to accomplish in that moment.
Yeah, Metu and Lyles had a very rough first half, and it looked like the Kings couldn't get anything going with Sabonis off the floor, so that was concerning. And I'm curious if Brown had stayed in that game, was Holmes going to end up getting some run? We did not see Nemias Queta in this game, or KZ Okpala either. They did not get touches. I thought HB was big, and he did get the DPOG chain tonight. Defensive player of the game for him. Dude, he was big, man. He was big, and I was really happy about that. After the game, the Kings celebrated Jordy Fernandez's first win as a coach. You won't be able to hear this, Morgan, but I'm going to play it for the people anyway. So here's Jordy Fernandez after the game being greeted in the locker room.
Thing, coach fought his ass off. He's gonna have to pay some money, but you guys responded. All right, so in the fourth quarter, we guarded, we got the win. All right, defensive player of the game. Who's got the chain here?
Right here.
Siakam, 37% from the field.
Wow. Morgan, I know you didn't hear much of that because of how it's set up here.
I actually heard most.
Okay, so many things in that video that I just played that the Kings put out on social media. Jordy was so fired up after that game. There's an enthusiasm with this team that I love, and look, it's not going to be pretty all the time. The last couple of games were hideous. They didn't play how they thought they should play. They were really bad, and there were some bad things tonight. But you have to deal with adversity sometimes. It's how you handle it. How do you bounce back? The Kings are going to lose games this year. They're going to have losing streaks this year. But how are they going to respond? Tonight, they responded in a big way. And after the game, Jordy's fired up. He's yelling. And his message to the team was that Coach Brown coached his ass off today. Got ejected. He's going to owe some money. But you guys responded. You guarded in the fourth quarter. He awards Harrison Barnes the DPOG, Defensive Player of the Game chain. They turn off the lights. Lasers are going everywhere. Everyone is happy. I love it. I love that response. It's a team that likes each other. And I think they are a team that is capable of getting through tough times because of it.
And you talk about tough times. You look at tonight, second night of a back-to-back, no Kevin Huerter. Mike Brown gets tossed. You're not getting any calls, and you're coming off of 2 ugly-ass losses. The way that they responded with all of that adversity thrown at them, Deuce, this is my thing. I think this tells a lot about this team. And I know we can say that after every win, every loss, every certain chunks of games, whatever. But I kept telling you what this road trip would really mean to me, the 6-game road trip, fatigue factor, some of the teams that they were facing. And I really think every time that there is a test like there was tonight, and then they kept being tested. And in years past, we've seen a King squad not respond in any way, shape, or form. And it is just traumatizing. It is not fun to watch. Every time I feel like this team goes a little bit on the downward slope, they come back up and respond with something super special. And tonight was one of those special performances.